I'm Jennifer Seven, and welcome to the Menopause Map. I'm a coach, a holistic nutritionist, and I'm in this transition right with you. Welcome. Welcome, Lorraine. I am so glad you all are here. Tonight, it's just going to be you and me, no guests, just solo for a while. I want to have a conversation. I want to talk about the things that I got wrong for years and that most of us were taught to get wrong. You cannot shame your way home. And let that just sit with you for a moment. You cannot shame your way home to yourself. I published 2 pieces this week. One was the body is not a problem to be solved. And the other was you cannot shame your way home. And this episode is where they come together and they meet. If you read them, great. This goes even deeper. If you haven't, just stay with me tonight for a little while. I want to start with the lie. And it is absolutely a lie, even though it's hiding behind a costume of motivation. Somewhere along the way, midlife women were handed a map. And that map says that the road back to your body runs through punishment. And that if you are just disappointed enough in yourself, disciplined enough, hard enough, you will finally arrive somewhere better, somewhere smaller, somewhere calmer, more like the woman you used to be. And this makes me angry. And it may sting a bit because this is the most widely distributed map in the entire wellness world. And it is not an accident because a woman who believes her body is the problem is a woman who keeps buying. You're buying the reset. You're buying the cleanse. You're buying the detox. You're buying the supplements. You're buying the skincare. You're buying the powder. You're buying the protocol. You're buying the plan. And the map just whispers to you, here's how to fix yourself. And the map sells forever. The map that says you were never broken, that one sells nothing. You were sold a story that needed shame, your shame, to stay in business. And honestly, that pisses me off. But here's what I want you to take from today. It isn't just shame that's unkind. It's that shame doesn't work. It doesn't work on a body and not biologically. A body does not repair in an atmosphere of threat. Think about that. We wake up every single morning already bracing against our own reflection, looking in that mirror going, oh my goodness, see these lines, see the wrinkles, see the neck, not feeling good about it, being angry about it, feeling shame about it. Shame doesn't work. So we're bracing. We're already at war with our own self before our feet even hit the floor. And guess what? Your nervous system reads that. It reads it in a way that it reads any danger. It's like high alert. And a body that doesn't feel safe can't rebuild. It just defends. So we're in this stress, high alert, fight or flight or freeze mode against our own selves, against our own bodies. And the harder that we push, tighter the body holds because its job is to protect. And if we're being cruel to ourselves, mean to ourselves, then what we think of as motivation is actually just one more thing the body needs to survive. This is not a willpower problem. This is your biology doing exactly what it was built to do, protecting you. And hear me, even from you. Even from you, from your own self. But I do want to take some weight off your shoulders, because I think that carrying something that was, we are carrying something that was never ours to begin with. We didn't invent that voice, the one in the mirror, the one doing the math, the one judging ourselves. No woman wakes up in the morning and decides spontaneously that it was a moral failure that she has a softer belly. She was taught by decades of before and after photos, by every product that needed her dissatisfaction to survive, by a whole culture that praised her most when she was getting smaller. Does that irritate you? Does that make you mad? It should. The shame feels like yours because it's voice, because it speaks in your voice now. But guess what? It was installed. This was installed into us by our culture. And I'm not saying that to hand you someone to blame. I'm saying it because you can't pull down a map that you won't admit you're holding. So just for today, I want you to set it down and ask whether that map was really pointing the right way. So here's the map that I want to hand you instead. That perhaps your body is not a problem to be solved. It's not a project or a failure or a before picture waiting for permission to exist. Your body is the place where your whole life has been happening. Every sleepless night, every child you carried or lost, every grief you swallowed, every year you performed fine while your body quietly kept the receipts. I learned this from my mother. Bless her heart. I love my mom so much, and she's passed on. But if you ever asked her how she was, she'd be like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Even when she wasn't fine. And it was kind of heartbreaking. You know, it was like, but you're not okay. It's okay to share that. So your body didn't betray you in midlife. It just started telling the truth. And this is everything. And it changes everything. Midlife is not the problem. The women I work with don't suffer from a discipline problem. I mean, think about it. Women do so much. They take care of their children. They take care of their spouse. They take care of their parents. They work a job. They do everything literally but take care of themselves. They have careers. They're holding the marriages together, the household together. They do all the appointments. This is not a discipline problem. Not at all. Women have plenty of discipline. The problem is that we're depleted. We've given it all out and there's nothing left. Women have spent every ounce of their discipline just trying to survive and serving everyone else. And by the time their own body finally asks for care, there's just nothing left. Does this resonate with you at all? It doesn't me. So when I meet a woman who is struggling with weight, with sleep, with rage, with brain fog, I don't think, oh, she just needs more willpower. She just needs more discipline. I think, where is she depleted? Where is she unsupported? Where did joy leave the room? And that is a completely different conversation. I want to tell you about the moment, this is a little story here, about the moment that this really clicked for me. And it was later in life. I had just gone through a difficult divorce, and I had decided to explore a retreat. I was trying to do things to heal myself. And I went to a retreat where we had yoga and journaling and meditation. And I think the yoga kind of triggered it because it was a gentle yoga and it was really listening to our bodies. And I had really been disconnected from my body. So after the class, I started journaling. And what I found myself journaling was gratitude toward my body. And the tears just came, and I cried and I cried and I cried as I wrote to my body, thank you. Thank you for my legs that walk for me and are so strong. Thank you for this heart that beats for me and I don't have to ask it to. Thank you for these eyes that see, the lungs that breathe, the arms that can carry and lift, the hands that can write, the ears that can hear. I had never really acknowledged all of the things that my body could do for me. I think I just thought my body is a tool and it's a machine and it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. And if it doesn't, then I'm mad at it and it needs to get its act together. But for the first time, I started to recognize my body as my best friend. And I had been so cruel and so mean to this best friend that was working so hard on my behalf. So I wrote and I journaled and I cried. And it was just like, wow, it was really a shift, a huge shift for me. So I began to treat my body as a friend rather than as an enemy or as an employee that I wasn't treated really well. This body had actually stopped responding to my threats. And the day I started asking it what it needed and what was wrong with it, everything became a little quieter. Not easier overnight. And it was like this war was ending and the healing was beginning. And let me say something, because I don't want you to hear the wrong thing. I'm not telling you to stop caring. You're allowed to want change. You're allowed to want your energy back, your strength back, your clothes to fit, to feel beautiful and clear and alive. And wanting that is not vanity and it's not the enemy. But the goal is not to stop caring about your body. It's to stop abandoning it while you do care. Because when you start from disgust, every choice becomes a punishment. I mean, have you felt that when you look in the mirror and you just go, oh my God, look at that stomach. Look at those legs. Lately, I've been looking at my legs going, oh, they're so crepey. They're wrinkly. They look old. Yuck. Need to come from a place of love and support. So then our choice, instead of being punishment, becomes repair. The same action, but the opposite direction. And that's the whole conversation that the Menopause Map is built on. Inside the map, I talk about 5 floors: sleep, food and blood sugar, and I should say protein and blood sugar, strength, stress and your nervous system, and joy. Those are the 5 floors. And I call them floors, not because it sounds all nice, but because a woman needs something to stand on, not another ceiling to reach, not another standard to fail, but a place to begin, a place to come back to. Because when your sleep is broken, everything is harder, right? I mean, I've had those 3 a.m. wake ups where my mind is just spinning, 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 and then I'm depleted for the rest of the day, and I'm frustrated, and I'm angry. Why couldn't I sleep? When your blood sugar is on a roller coaster, then your moods and your cravings get loud. You might be crashing at 3 in the afternoon. You might be craving sweets in the evening. When you're losing muscle, your strength and your metabolism and your confidence all shift. And I had this little epiphany this last weekend. I was out on a lake with a friend and we were going to swim a little bit, and we had a ladder to crawl down, and the ladder was harder for me to climb back up. And I thought, oh, when did that happen? When did I lose my strength? I've always been rather strong. And it was like, what the heck? So the body is changing, especially as we go into midlife. And then my confidence was kind of shook. And I'm like, gosh, I better get on this. When your nervous system is fried and your body doesn't feel safe enough to repair. I mean, we exist these days in this high stress environment. If we think about stress, if we go back to hunting and gathering days, our stress would occur when we were in danger. Perhaps the saber-toothed tiger was coming for us. Well, our response would be run, freeze, probably get eaten, or flee and hope you can outrun it. But our cortisol would spike and we would react and do something, and then the danger would be over and everything calms back down and we go about our life, our nervous system adjusts. But we are existing in a 24/7 nervous system elevated situation now. Our stress is through the roof and it doesn't calm down. We never get the break. We never get the break. So this isn't good for us. We're in an elevated cortisol all the time. So our nervous system is fried, our body doesn't feel safe enough to repair, and then there's joy. I think it's so important to be thinking about joy. When we've given and given and given all of it away through obligation, or it becomes one long obligation, what's coming back? What is replenishing our joy? Most women are trying to renovate their entire lives while standing on these broken floors, and then they blame themselves when the renovation doesn't hold. So in the Menopause Map, we talk a lot about floors, which ones are leaking, and how can we repair them? We don't have to fix them, we're going to repair them. So if shame isn't the way, then what is the way? And it starts with one question, and I really want you to sit with this one. You can even pause, think about it, answer it honestly. Not what is wrong with me, but what is my body asking for that I keep refusing to give it? And sometimes the answer is embarrassingly simple. Protein. Protein before your blood sugar crashes. Sleep. You stop negotiating with yourself at 2 a.m. Strength, because muscle is how to stay free in the decades ahead. Sometimes, and this is the part that nobody can sell a supplement for, sometimes your body is asking for something quieter and harder. It may be a boundary. It may be a conversation. It may be a truth. Maybe you've been too loyal. Maybe you've been too easy or too tired to say it out loud. Because midlife is not only hormonal, it's a renegotiation. It's your body finally loud enough to be heard, refusing to keep funding a version of yourself, of your life, that is just costing too much. So tell me, or let me tell you, what coming home can actually look like, because it's almost never dramatic. It's not a perfect protocol that you'll abandon by Thursday and then use against yourself because you abandoned it. Sometimes it looks as simple as eating breakfast before your body has to scream for fuel. Sometimes it looks like going to bed. Instead of proving that you can keep going, I'm going to get it all done before bed, even if it means I sacrifice several hours. Sometimes it looks like putting one hand on your belly. I like to put mine on my heart and deciding today you're not going to speak to yourself like an enemy. Not because you suddenly love every inch of yourself, but because you're done making war the way back. We don't need to be fighting. We need to be like, So I had a moment like that on just an ordinary Tuesday. One of those days you're standing in the kitchen, you're exhausted, you're about to say the cruelest thing to yourself out of just habit. And instead, I put my hand flat on my stomach and one hand on my heart. And I said, with my eyes closed and a breath, what do you need right now? Maybe it feels a little ridiculous, but it felt like the first kind thing I had said to myself in a long time. And that's where it shifts, right there. It's not dramatic. It's one small, stubborn choice to stop being your own worst enemy. And I want to say this plainly. Sometimes the way home to yourself runs through a doctor's office, through labs, through hormones, through medication, a second opinion, a good therapist. I'm a coach. I'm not a doctor. Nothing I say here is medical advice. So listening to your body is not a replacement for medical care. It's honestly sometimes the thing that gets you to go to the doctor. And here's how you'll know the difference between punishment and support. You feel it in your chest. Punishment feels like, on guard. I've got to be ready. I'm bracing. Held breath. Shallow breathing. A debt you're working off. Support feels like exhaling. It can be the exact same plate of food, the exact same pair of walking shoes, but one is a sentence, the other is a kindness. And over time, your body will learn which one it's living with. And we want to begin to remind our bodies that we are kind so that our bodies will begin to trust us again. We are kind, that we are friends, that we are not enemies. So I want you to really, really, really think about that. Start thinking about your body as a friend and think about how would you talk to your friend? Would you talk to your friend the way that you talk to your body? I don't think you would, but we do. So this is something I think every woman should start to think about, incorporate, begin to listen to ourselves. What is my body telling me? It's telling me be gentle, be kind, take care of me, support me, don't criticize me, don't punish me, don't talk down to me, don't hate me, don't feel shame for me. This body is a gift. We are only given one body, and it's the only one we have to live in for the rest of our lives. So let's treat it like a friend. And it's not perfect, but our friends aren't perfect. Let's be kind and gentle and supportive and listen and not talk harshly, not treat it like the enemy. Our body will learn over time who it's living with, the supportive you or the mean, cruel person that it has to feel on guard all the time and bracing, ready for the fight. Let's pick which one we want to be, and let's live with it accordingly. And that's where I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you with that. Think about your body as your best friend, and let's throw shame out the door, out the window, wherever, and start loving ourselves. And there is an exercise where you can look in the mirror and start just telling yourself, even if you don't believe it, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love my eyes, I love my lips, I love my teeth, I love my hair, I love my neck, I love every part of myself. And it can be super uncomfortable when you start, but we are starting something new, a loving relationship with you in the mirror. So we're not the old you. We are who we are now in midlife, who we are right now. And we don't want to go back. We can't go back to the 20-year-old or the 30-year-old. We are who we are right now in midlife. And let's learn to love and honor and trust each other. And we're going to find those leaks in the Menopause Map, and we're going to support this best friend that is our own self. So, hey, I love you guys. I'll be here next week. And I hope you follow the Menopause Map. Thank you guys. Have a great night.